And the Oscar award goes to the lack of diversity in film and television. Let's talk about it. Racial diversity in film and television is the portrayal of a wide variety of different ethnicities in movies, TV shows, and cartoons. Hollywood's history of whitewashing, offensive racial stereotypes, and lack of diversity has cultivated a generation of minority ethnicities left feeling mis- or underrepresented on screen. Here's why this is an issue. When Scarlett Johansson is cast as a lead in an adaptation of a famous Japanese manga, Ghost in the Shell, it makes you wonder, why isn't this character of Japanese descent portrayed by an Asian actress? The same problem occurs when Tilda Swinton is cast as a Celtic character in Marvel's adaptation of Doctor Strange, when the original character was Tibetan, or when the characters from Nickelodeon's Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon are cast to actors with much lighter skin in the live-action version. These examples are just three of the many instances of whitewashing in Hollywood, which is defined as when white actors are cast in originally non-white roles. Whitewashing can be seen as a result of when white actors in the 1900s caricatured different races by wearing blackface or yellowface, involving the exaggeration of stereotypes of other races. Simultaneously during this time, people of color were seen as lower than white actors, thus were deemed not worthy of being cast in films. According to a study conducted by UCLA, in 2018, Asian, Black, Latino, and non-white actors only represented 36.3% of all speaking or named characters across 1,200 films analysed, meaning on average that 6 out of 10 actors in mainstream Hollywood films were white. Back in 2015, people pointed out that all 20 Oscar nominees were Caucasian, birthing the trending hashtag #OscarsSoWhite.
Oscars so white.
Oscars so white hashtag.
The Oscars So White campaign.
Well, in January of 2015, I was watching the Academy Award nominations, and it struck me that category after category, 20 different fields, there were no people of color at all nominated. And so I said, Oscars So White, they asked to touch my hair.
This hashtag sparked controversy and started a conversation about how little diversity was found in the Oscar categories. Few were not surprised to hear that 91% of members who voted on the Academy Motion Picture Arts and Sciences were white. This isn't to say that these members nominated and voted explicitly on the basis of race, but it presents to be a case of implicit bias, which may have impacted the voters without them even realizing it. Implicit bias has been partly due to how people of color have been portrayed in films and TV shows in the first place. Take a look at the 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's. Aubrey Hepburn's character is portrayed as a gorgeous, classy white woman, and suddenly Mickey Rooney's character is portrayed in yellowface as an exotic and uncivilized Japanese man.
But that was 2 weeks ago! You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell!
Unfortunately, yellowface still happens to this decade. In 2014, Alison Hannigan's character in the How I Met Your Mother TV series was once seen to portray an Asian woman in an episode that attempted to be an homage to kung fu movies. However, the episode ended up just being seen to audiences as an insulting exploitation of East Asian culture.
Hi, I'm Alison Hannigan.
The problem with this is the term Orientalism.
Yep.
Is not homage anymore when you start playing someone else's race.
It just makes me feel so exoticized.
For black audiences, the majority of who they see on screen involves tropes such as the sassy black woman or the black best friend.
When Emily introduced us, I kind of thought I was getting a black best friend.
It seems as though black characters cannot exist in Hollywood without being the white protagonist's sidekick, and often these individuals are written with, at best, no development, and at worst, the punchline to a stale joke.
Black? Huh, that's the worst color there is. No offense there, Carl.
I get it all the time.
We all know Apu as the lovable, convenient store owner in Springfield, but to many brown audiences, Apu's stereotypes, from his voice to his mannerisms, has had its negative effects.
There's still one man who haunts me, Apu Nahasapima Pedalon.
Please pay for your purchases and get out and come again.
It didn't help that his voice actor was a white man. There are so many ways to be a white male in films, but only a few, often offensive and inappropriate ways to be Asian, black, or non-white on screen. How these characters are represented feed into racial stereotypes and contribute to implicit bias that people of color experience. On-screen representation is extremely important, and here's why.
Whenever I see someone that's like my race, it kind of makes me feel more included in that
If you don't see yourself being represented in some type of social media or some type of movie or some type of TV show, kind of like brings your self-esteem down almost.
Whenever me and my family would see somebody in hijab on TV, we'd all be freaking out because we never ever saw somebody that looked like us.
The media really represents us with is Raj from Big Bang Theory or Apu from Simpsons. They could probably do a better job with depicting Indian people or even like brown women.
These teens are just a few of the many millions who have recognized the lack of diversity in Hollywood. Increasing racial diversity in films and TV isn't just about the color of the character's skin. It's about the stories and narratives written for these characters. When more diverse stories are told, different cultures and different perspectives are represented, allowing for audiences to not only learn about each other, but most importantly, see themselves represented. Thankfully, more and more people are starting to realize Hollywood's continuous whitewashing and offensive racial stereotypes. Although Hollywood has done little to keep up with the ever-changing demographic, films with diverse casts have proven to be successful. For example, Crazy Rich Asians in 2018 was the first Hollywood film that featured an all-Asian cast in 25 years, making over $237 million worldwide at the box office.
So we're grateful for this award not only because the recognition is awesome, but because you never see us up here.
Even better, Marvel's Black Panther became the highest-grossing film in the same year, making $1.3 billion worldwide. The film featured a predominantly black cast, which was the first for a movie of this budget. These two films prove that productions with diverse casts can be successful, in terms of both revenue and representing minority races. Whilst we cannot erase Hollywood's dark history of whitewashing, blackface, yellowface, or racial stereotypes, we as the audience can continue to praise films and TV shows that give voice to inclusivity and strive for equal representation.